Noah Brown seemed to have it all figured out. The quirky inventor from Alaskan Bush People found love, started a family, and built a life in the wilderness alongside his famous siblings. But behind the cameras, everything was falling apart. In January 2025, fans watched in shock as Noah announced his separation, revealing he'd been kicked out of his own home and was living in a guest cabin. That was just the beginning. What followed was a family war so intense it involved restraining orders, arrests, and accusations that would tear the Brown family apart forever. Noah Brown's love story with Rhain started like something out of a movie. Back when the family still lived in Alaska, Noah wrote her love letters that convinced her to fly out and visit Browntown. They married in 2018 with only 25 close friends and family watching, and Noah told reporters he couldn't wait to build memories with his new wife. They welcomed 2 sons, Elijah and Adam, and seemed to be living the off-grid dream that his father Billy had always envisioned for the family. Fast forward to January 2025, and that dream was shattered. Noah and Rhain sat down together for a TikTok video that shocked their followers. The couple announced they were separating after 6 years of marriage, but it wasn't the words that told the real story, it was everything else. Their body language screamed discomfort. They barely looked at each other. Rhain's expression was cold and distant while Noah explained the brutal truth. He'd been asked to move out weeks earlier and was now living in their guest cabin. The arrangement was humiliating. Noah had to message Rhain first before coming to see his own sons, asking permission like a stranger. He could visit Elijah and Adam on weekends, but only if she approved. During the video, Noah kept his composure, saying they had a lot to work through, but anyone watching could see the pain written across his face. The man who once built contraptions and dreamed up inventions in the Alaskan wilderness was now reduced to begging for time with his children. Whatever happened between them, it was clear this wasn't a mutual decision, and the worst part was, this was only the beginning of Noah's nightmare. While Noah's marriage crumbled, an even darker conflict was brewing within the Brown family. In August 2024, Noah and Rhain filed a restraining order against Noah's youngest sister, Rhain. The court documents painted a disturbing picture that contradicted everything fans thought they knew about the sweet youngest sibling who used to go shopping with her sister Bird. According to the filing, Rhain had allegedly threatened Noah's life multiple times. Noah claimed that during filming for Alaskan Bush People, back in July 2022, Rhain told him in an elevator that her life would be so much easier if he were gone, and that she had a weapon in her room. The petition detailed years of alleged harassment that started back in 2016, right after Rhain was introduced to the family. Noah accused his sister of stalking, making disparaging comments on TikTok, and creating an environment of fear for him and his family. But the allegations didn't stop there. Noah claimed Rhain was struggling with serious problems involving controlled substances, specifically referencing both coke and meth. He even alleged that in December 2023, Rhain offered their mother, Amaya, illegal substances to treat a migraine. The filing requested that Rhain surrender multiple firearms, including handguns, semi-automatic rifles and shotguns, and stay at least 1,000 feet away from Noah, Rhain, and their 2 young sons. Rhain responded cryptically on social media, posting about mental health struggles and questioning why the world praised being fake over being real. She wrote that her brother was attacking someone who dealt with serious mental health challenges, signing off with a bitter "Merry Christmas anyway." The court ultimately denied Noah's request in September 2024, citing insufficient evidence and procedural errors in the paperwork. But this family war was far from over. In fact, things were about to get much worse. Just when fans thought the Brown family drama couldn't get any darker, Rhain dropped a bomb that changed everything. In June 2025, she began making cryptic comments on TikTok, hinting that Noah had hurt her when they were younger. At first, she refused to provide details, simply stating that he abused her and that was all that mattered. But during a TikTok live session, Rhain made it clear she was talking about something far more serious, implying the abuse was of an inappropriate nature. Rhain claimed that their late father Billy, who passed away in 2021, never knew what happened. She wrote in comments that if Billy had known, Noah wouldn't still be around. She also stated that their mother Ami and other siblings were kept in the dark. The allegations sent shockwaves through the fan base, with people taking sides almost immediately. Some believed Rhain was finally speaking her truth after years of silence, while others questioned the timing given the ongoing legal battles between the siblings. Noah stayed silent for weeks while consulting with his lawyer. Finally, in July 2025, he posted his own TikTok response with a flat denial. He called the accusations completely false, and said he was innocent of everything Rhain claimed. Noah suggested his sister's motive was to destroy his life and potentially get his children taken away from him. He showed screenshots of past messages from Rhain, some friendly, others threatening to demonstrate what he described as her unstable behavior toward him over the years. Rhain fired back within days, stating that Noah's video provided no real evidence and that he simply denied her claims without proof. The public battle between siblings played out on social media, with both sides refusing to back down. The family that once survived together in the Alaskan wilderness was now completely fractured, and there seemed to be no path to reconciliation. On April 7, 2025, Noah made a desperate call to authorities requesting a welfare check on his mother Ami and sister Rhain. The details he provided were alarming. Noah told police that Ami was couch surfing with Rhain and her husband Josiah Lorton at a cabin in Liar's Cove. He claimed he'd received a strange, disjointed message from his mother and heard she was drinking heavily and using meth supplied by Rhain and Josiah. Ami, who had been hospitalized just weeks earlier in February with pneumonia and placed in a medically induced coma, was allegedly off her medications and deteriorating fast. Noah claimed Rhain wasn't allowing Ami to take her prescribed pills, viewing anyone who tried to help as evil. He also warned officers that Josiah was typically armed and that Rhain had taken a pistol from him. Though Noah didn't want to report it stolen, he wanted police to be cautious. The welfare check didn't result in immediate contact with Ami, but just days later on April 11, Rhain and Josiah were arrested. The charges were serious: first-degree burglary, first-degree malicious mischief, and criminal trespassing. Court documents later revealed they allegedly stole $75,000 in cash, $85,000 in gold coins, $8,000 worth of wine and champagne, several firearms, and other items from Josiah's uncle Jason. Rhain and Josiah both pleaded not guilty to all charges. Rhain posted on Instagram afterward with a Bible verse about judgment, claiming in her caption that people were believing lies from an old manager who allegedly stole $43,000 from her. She begged her followers to wait and hear her side of the story. But with the accusations piling up and legal troubles mounting, Noah's warnings about his sister were starting to look prophetic to outsiders watching the family implode. While the Brown family tore itself apart, the show that made them famous was quietly disappearing. Alaskan Bush People wrapped its 14th season in 2022, and since then, Discovery has remained silent about renewal. The network's official website doesn't even list the show among its properties anymore, a glaring omission that speaks volumes. Court documents from a lawsuit against Billy's estate refer to the series in past tense, suggesting everyone involved knows it's over except the fans still hoping for answers. Brother Bear tried to keep hope alive in April 2024 by teasing a spin-off series called Alaskan Bush People, Behind the Scenes with Bear Brown. He promised it would drop in summer 2024 and give fans insider stories about filming. That series never materialized. In March 2025, Bear posted another video insisting the show wasn't technically cancelled, just not filming right now. But his reassurances rang hollow as months passed with no updates and no cameras rolling. The show's demise likely stems from multiple factors beyond just family drama. Billy Brown's business partner filed a breach of contract lawsuit seeking $500,000 from the late patriarch's estate just 2 months after Billy's death in February 2020. Ami, as executor of the estate, became a defendant in the case. Her testimony in April 2024 acknowledged that the show ultimately had 14 seasons, with the last one filmed in 2022, confirmation that production had stopped years ago. Without their father's vision holding them together and with the family scattered across different properties and different lives, there's simply no Browntown left to film. Noah living in a guest cabin, Rhain facing criminal charges, Bear announcing another separation from his wife Raven, the wolf pack that once howled together has gone silent. The wilderness adventure that captivated viewers for over a decade seems to have reached its final chapter. Before the family wars and legal battles, there was fire. In August 2020, the Palmer Mountain wildfire tore through Okanogan County, Washington, making national headlines as it burned for days. The Brown family's North Star Ranch sat directly in its path, and they were forced to evacuate as flames consumed everything they'd built. For Noah and Rhain, the devastation was total. They lost their home and everything in it. The wildfire marked a turning point for the Browns. After the evacuation, Noah explained on Instagram that he and Rhain were living in a rental house because they'd lost everything. The mountain would always be their home, he wrote, but they had to leave while they figured out how to rebuild. The family that once prided themselves on living off the grid and surviving anything nature threw at them were suddenly dependent on modern housing and outside help. Then came an even more devastating blow. On February 7, 2021, just months after the fire, patriarch Billy Brown suffered a seizure and passed away at age 68. Billy had been the glue holding the family together, the dreamer who convinced his children that living in the wilderness was possible. His vision of Browntown, where all his kids would build homes and raise families together, died with him. Without Billy's leadership and with their mountain home destroyed, the family began drifting apart. Mother Amy, already battling health issues including previous cancer diagnoses, continued to struggle. In February 2025, she was hospitalized with pneumonia and placed in a medically induced coma, the same illness that would later become central to Noah's welfare check concerns. The once strong matriarch who survived cancer and led her family through Alaska's harshest conditions was now fragile. The Brown family, forged in the wilderness and hardened by survival, was crumbling under pressures that no amount of bush skills could fix. Noah Brown's journey from beloved reality star to family outcast reads like a cautionary tale about what happens when the cameras stop rolling and real life takes over. The quiet inventor who once charmed viewers with his quirky gadgets and awkward romantic gestures is now a man fighting battles on every front, separated from his wife, estranged from his sister, and watching his mother's health decline while feeling powerless to help. The transformation is jarring. This is the same guy who wrote love letters to win Rhain's heart, who built contraptions in the Alaskan wilderness, who seemed content living off the grid with his growing family. Now he's texting for permission to see his own kids, filing restraining orders against his siblings and making desperate calls to police about his mother's welfare. The wolf pack mentality that defined the Browns, the idea that family survives together no matter what, has completely disintegrated. What makes Noah's story even more tragic is that there's no clear villain and no easy answers. Rhain claims she's speaking her truth about past trauma. Noah insists he's protecting his children from dangerous behavior. Rhain wanted out of the marriage for reasons she's kept private. Amy's health continues to deteriorate while her children battle each other instead of supporting her. Every person involved believes they're right, and that's exactly why there's no path to healing. The show that made the Browns famous is almost certainly done, but the real-life drama continues without cameras to document it. Noah Brown, once the harmless oddball of Alaskan Bush People, has become the center of one of reality TV's most explosive family feuds. Whether he's the victim, the villain, or something in between depends entirely on who you ask. And in this fractured family, you'll get a different answer from everyone.